Hey guys, welcome back to the Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter card game review. Today's game up on the chopping block is called There She Is by Insanity Games. There She Is for 1 to 4 players, about 8 and up to play, maybe a little higher than that, and about 30 to 50 minutes for each step. And I'll explain what a step is in a little bit here. It's based off of the popular animation by Sam Bokza, and it is about 5 episodes of a little Korean animation, which is really cool. We'll have it running up here so you can see what it looks like, because I really enjoy it. And the idea of the game is you're working together cooperatively to bring this kitty and this bunny together. And the kitty's kind of the first step of the game is kind of he doesn't know if he's into it or not, and she's just chasing him around trying to give him the love that she knows he needs. But everybody else around is also kind of unsure if a kitty and a bunny should be together, kind of thing. Which is, it raises a couple of interesting questions, I think. And it's a very lovely little interesting game. And I think it serves both as like a teachable moment as well as a fun little game moment. Well, anyway, let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. Alright guys, so here's what you get in There She Is. Now what we're going to be showing you is the first step, because that's what we have. Now we have a couple of the other stuff for the other steps in this deck. We use that for every single step. So we're going to take out the characters first for the step we're choosing, which is step 1, which is Doki and Nabi. And they have a couple other different characters for all the different steps you're going to be going through when you get the game. Then we're going to go ahead and give everybody a player aid that's both front and back that shows you what you can do with your characters and what you can do with yourself. Then we go through the event deck and find the meeting event, which is the first active event, and shuffle up the rest of them. Just like that. We have the main deck of cards, and then we have the step requirements, as well as the different turn tracker over here. There's you have positive signs and negative signs that go on characters and players. The next thing you do is give every single player 3 cards, as well as place 4 cards right in front of every single player. That is going to be the front, basically the cards are going to be played right in the middle of the room for everybody can use. After you've done that, the game is pretty much ready to go. Okay, so after everybody has their hand of 3 cards, as well as the stash of 4 cards laid out in front of the table, then the active player is going to get to do their actions. But first off, they have to do anything that automatically happens on the field and in their hand. If they get a card, called an auto card, they have to actually do what it says. Like, for instance, this negative sign here, which shows a number 1 here, which indicates that it happens on step 1, says to give a +1 negative sign to each and every player. So that's something that we would have to do, and I'll show you in the turn when we progress through this. Also, if you have any negative signs in your hand, perhaps, okay, maybe not in this one, maybe another one, who knows, then you have to do those as well. And if you get a certain amount of negative signs, depending on the amount of players in the game, then that means you're going to lose. So you have to be careful as to how many negative signs you get. After that, you're going to take one of 5 different actions. The first one being that you can simply draw a card from the stash and then play a card from your hand. Another action could be that you play a character's ability, and whenever you play a character's ability, it's probably going to cost them positive signs on that little character. And you're accumulating positive signs on those characters to do those abilities. Another thing you could do is discard the entire stash, all the little stash cards that have the negative signs and stuff like that. They get removed, and then you draw 4 new ones. Another one is that you could actually discard your entire hand and draw 3 new ones. And finally, an interesting one, you can take half of the item deck, the object deck, and you can search through it for a card. And at the next available end of turn, you're going to place that card you've chosen, and you put it on top of the deck. So it's inaccessible until the end of that player's turn. So while you're searching for it, basically nobody can use it. And after that, it goes to the next player. Well, alright, let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. Okay, so now we're going to show the first round of the game, as well as the first player's turn. This is the player card in hand, as well as we look and see if there's anything that happens automatically. Well, as you can see over here, negative sign, step 1, or it says auto, -1 to both players, or all players. So each player gets a negative sign. Now, if you notice over here, it says how many negative signs each player can have, and there's a max of 7 for a 2-player game. So if we go over 7 for either player, we lose. We're trying to acquire on Nabi 9 heart symbols right here. This guy, he needs 9 of these guys in order for us to complete that task, as well as the axe and the flag have to be equipped and then moved over here, as well as the final thing, we need to make sure that this event is gone. So what we're going to do to do that? So if we've gone ahead and done the negative sign, that sucks, and it goes away. Actually, it gets shuffled back into the deck. Technically, we'll just put it in the middle though, but you normally have to shuffle it. And we'll draw the next one. Ooh, an axe. Okay, so for this player's turn, he gets to draw a card from here, and then he can play a card. So he's definitely going to take the axe, because as we just said, you need the axe in order to complete this step. So he'll take a card, and then he'll play a card. So he needs to put it on the little cute bunny. Boop. Done. So he's drawn and he's played, and then it passes on to the next player's turn. Alright, flip it over. Let's see what we got here. All right, 1, 0, 0. This card needs to get replaced. Okay, it's a rock. And this is an auto. It says shuffle the stack into the object deck and then refill it. Okay, so all these go away. Put them back into the object deck and then you shuffle them up. All right. And then we're going to refill it. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Ooh, we got a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, this is an auto and has a 1, so it gives us both -1 again. That's not good. Here's an auto, but unfortunately it's only in step 5, so we're safe there. And this is a 4 and 5, so no good there. And this one here is any bunny gets +1. So +1 heart to any of the bunnies. That's pretty cool. So he's going to take his turn. What does he want to do? He doesn't see anything good here. This is burnt now. So he will go ahead and draw a card. And he will play it. So he gives any single bunny he wants, +1 of these. Okay, so we're going to take the carrot, and we are going to go ahead and put on any bunny we want, which is only one bunny, and it's Doki. So place it on that, and gets a heart. You can only have 2 items equipped for any character, but if you ever have any unique items, they can stay on as well, but otherwise you can only have 2. After that, it's a rinse and repeat fest, going back and forth. Every time each player takes a turn, it goes up to 1. And then it'll go to the next 2. And then depending on what how many players there are, it's going to determine when this resets. Let's go ahead and talk about that. After you finish the required rounds, you're going to go to the resolving step, in which you're going to be moving any items off of characters, either to a step or to an event. And if it doesn't actually, it doesn't fit appropriately to either of those, it gets discarded. Then you're going to try to choose to solve events or not to, depending on if you want to. And if you haven't won the game, if you haven't completed the entire step, then you're going to flip over another event card, in which you're going to need to complete for next round. Players can then redistribute their signs in any way they would like. They're going to have negative signs. They might want to switch it back and forth. And then after that, you're going to reset the round counter. So we'll go back down to 0 here. Afterwards, you're going to start a new round and continue until the next resolution phase. Okay, so we show you how the resolution step works. So after the 3rd round, we're going to go ahead and do the resolution step, right? The first thing you do is we're going to move item cards. So we've got 2 here. We've got a carrot and an axe. Well, the carrot doesn't go to either the event or to the step. The step requires an axe and a flag, and the event requires a plastic cup. So if we had a plastic cup, we would go put it here, and if we had the axe, which we do, we'll put it here. This card here is useless. It goes away. Then after that, we're going to then choose to solve the events if we can. Well, we can't solve that. If we had a plastic cup and put it on here, as well as signs, 3 signs that would have been placed on Doki, you can choose to place it on this instead. Then we can actually remove this event and gain the rewards. And the rewards indicated are down here. This is lose conditions for each, you lose negative signs for each player. So we'd actually lose these guys here and they'd go away if we could complete this. So we'll just say we did that just for example's sake, right? And then after we do that, if you haven't won the game, so if we had, we would actually have the axe, right? As well as we'd need 9 of these guys on Nabby. We need a whole bunch of these guys on Nabby. As well as no maximum for these guys. But we don't do that. So we're going to go ahead and redistribute. So we can choose to redistribute the signs if we want, right? As well as then we're going to place a new event marker here, okay? So we're going to take this over here and flip over a new one, the negative sign. This is a condition that says hearts per active event, and every solving phase is we get +1 negative per player per active event. So that's pretty nasty. We need to get rid of that as soon as possible. And then we'd simply reset the tracker back down to 0 and start once again trying to get that last white flag as well as clearing this last event. Okay, and so the round will continue, and you're going to keep going on and on like that, back and forth. Now, a couple things I didn't talk about were the player A that talks about the player character skills, right? So you have Nabby and Doki, and they can actually do some stuff for you, provided that they have the positive signs on them. For instance, Doki can berserk by placing a positive sign on a target character for the cost of 3, or she could Giant Heart, place 3 positive signs on Doki for the cost of 2, as well as Attack of Hearts, place 8 positive signs on Doki. So she's like really good at placing a bunch of signs on characters, right? That's what she wants to do. She can search the deck for a craft object and put it into an active player's hand, then shuffle the deck. And Nabby can do cool stuff too. For instance, he's able to make sure that no negative signs go on to other players in the next turn, including ability cards here. Ability negatives, right? He can protect by generating a positive sign on Doki, and working. You can search the object deck for any object that Nabi can use. Now, obviously, there's going to be a cost for each and every single one of these abilities, and it's simply from the action of playing a player skill, which is for free, as opposed to drawing a card from the stash and playing it, as well as your other 3 active abilities, right? And you're going to go back and forth deciding which ability you want to use on your turn and trying to get all of the things you need from all of these different objectives. And if you can complete them during the resolution step and clear off all the events as well as keep your hearts on Nabi, then you're going to win that first step, and you could play, you win the game together as a cooperative, or you can actually go on to the next step and play the next step. And that's basically how you play the game. There she is. Well, let me tell you what I think about it. Alright, so There She Is a friendly little fun Korean animation style of a game that works cooperatively with your other players as a card game. Right? Now, as a disclaimer, I gotta say that the rules of the game are ever changing. It's a Kickstarter game, so who knows what's going to be different from now as they are. We are playing them based on as we know them right now, but they might change. Either way, saying it, the rules are not, it says 8 and up. It's probably a little more like 13. It's a little more complicated of a card game than I initially thought when I first saw it. However, that doesn't take away from the fun. In fact, it actually increases the fun for an older audience because this game can be pretty tough. In fact, in a lot of certain instances, you're going to get a lot of negative signs and start stacking up. And you're almost not going to want to use certain abilities because it's going to cost you too much. And it's going to push that game into that prolonged mode of where you're too nervous to play anything because you've got lots of negative signs coming up. And if in any instance, of course, depending on the amount of players, you get over that negative count, you're going to be in deep doo-doo. The art's friendly and cute and does remind me exactly like the animation. In fact, I watched all 5 steps, and they're very, very funny. And it has that beautiful little message of, like, you know, coming together, and it doesn't matter what kind of animal you are, whether you're a bunny or a kitty. It also has that fun little thing where the cat's not sure if he's into her or not, and she's super into him, and she's chasing him all over the place. And it has that theme in this game. You feel like you're playing the animation, which is really, really cool. Now, like I said, I only have the first step, so I didn't get a chance to play all of the steps, and it is just one step is enough of a game, all in itself. The fact that they're including all 5 steps for the Kickstarter is really, really cool. And from what I've been told, and from how I can tell in these cards, there's going to be a lot of different stuff going on. In fact, you don't even use half the cards in this deck while playing the step. In fact, they're almost like dead cards, which are dangerous, right? And you have to get rid of them as fast as you can and search for the ones you need. So that gives a big, a wide variety of different things you can do for each step. And you're also searching for different things depending on what it is. Sometimes you might need animals, sometimes you're trying to pull off all these different events. And there's a different event deck for every single step. This is just one step worth of event decks, of the events deck. And it's going to have lots of different objectives you're trying to complete, as well as those hearts you need on your little guys, as well as the negatives you want away from yourself. So you feel like you're trying to help the story along as players, but you're also, as players, worried about giving yourselves negative signs, which is a very interesting, like, I don't know if it's a fourth wall breaker or not, but it's really, really cool, and I really enjoyed that. So just as a disclaimer, like I said, it is a little more complicated and it does take a little bit to learn. And I'm sure as the game progresses and the rules get sorted out, it's going to be a lot simpler to understand. And I think anybody, you know, like I said, ages 13 up, are really going to enjoy this game, especially for older gamers. This is surprisingly a game that I think cooperatively and difficult level is right there where you're enjoyable, but not too hard, but not too easy either. And that's the game There She Is. Alright guys, thanks for watching another Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter card game review. If you like this video and want to see more, go ahead and check out the rest of our videos here on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and comment. It all helps. Appreciate it. As well as if you like There She Is, go ahead and check out the description below, link where the Kickstarter is going to be. As well as checking out our website, unfilteredgamer.com. We got tons of blog posts, giveaways, Kickstarter lists, and more. We got a huge list of Kickstarter games going all the way down. Click on them, you can check them all out. Makes it really easy for you. As well as we got a bunch of sponsors, affiliate sites, whatever, people that help us out, right? Over here, Devatoast Gaming, everythingboardgames.com, and the Giveaway Geek. We appreciate everything, guys, and once again, I look forward to seeing you next time.